How's it going, everyone? My name is Logan Baxley, and I'm a senior at the University of South Florida, majoring in environmental science and policy. And today we will be discussing the topic of blue-green algal blooms and how they affect fish populations within the state of Florida. Understanding blue-green algal blooms, also known as cyanobacterial blooms, is the first step in the process. These blooms are composed of trillions of tiny cyanobacteria, as pictured on the right side of the slide. Cyanobacteria grow best in conditions that include warm temperatures, high sunlight, ambient nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen, and dissolved carbon dioxide. As previously mentioned, nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen are the drivers behind these algal blooms. You may be wondering how they ever enter our waterways though. This can happen in a number of ways, including agricultural and urban introductions. Pesticides, fertilizers, and livestock manure can be agricultural ways, and urban ways can include wastewater sources and industrial parks. There are two various ways in which blue-green algal blooms can decimate fish populations. First, cyanobacterial blooms can destroy ecosystems, starting by cutting off sunlight penetration to aquatic vegetation, which depletes the invertebrate population, ultimately depleting the fish population, as one level of the food chain builds upon the other. Second, the cyanotoxin produced by the algal blooms can directly enter the fish's blood through direct contact with their gills. The state of Florida is known to have some of the most diverse fish populations in the entire world. In the state, some examples of fish species that can be negatively impacted by these algal blooms include redfish, trout, bass, grouper, snapper, pinfishes and other bait fishes, snook, and many more. Pretty much, almost any fish that comes in contact with one of these algal blooms is at risk of death or serious harm. Protecting each one of these species is crucial to not only the ecosystem, but to the entire state as well. According to a survey conducted by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, almost $14 billion annually comes from the practice of recreational fishing. In return, over 120,000 jobs are the result. Aesthetic environmental services are also a major driver of tourism and revenue within Florida. When it comes to solving the issue of the blue-green algal bloom crisis, citizens from both urban and agricultural backgrounds must contribute equally. The primary solution involves applying correct amounts of fertilizer during appropriate times of the year. Essentially, you should look to avoid applying fertilizers during the spring and summer months where rainfall, sunlight, and temperatures are all at their highest. This will reduce the risk of algal blooms tremendously. Local, state, and federal governments and agencies can also have a role in protecting the environment from these algal blooms. The United States Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is conducting numerous strategies and techniques to reduce the frequency and diminish the effects of these blooms. At the state and local levels, governments are implementing fertilizer bans that restrict the use of fertilizers that contain nitrogen and phosphorus during the rainy, warm summer months.